All right, and now it's time for our final session of the day. Now, as an American, I've learned something about Europe in the past couple of days. We had our client advisory board yesterday, and during our lunch session, I asked these product experts from our partners and clients and said, what could we do better? And they said, well, where's the booze? You know, in Europe, if you're going to serve lunch, you have to serve wine or beer or something. This water just isn't cutting it. And so with that in mind, for our final session, we've purchased Mike Nolet and Kieran O'Kane some Guinness so they can entertain you with a fireside chat about what's really happening in our industry. So please enjoy. Mike and Kieran.
Who's jealous?
Talk about reinforcing the stereotype. An Irishman with a bottle of Guinness on stage talking about ad tech.
I think this is a summit first, probably, drinking on stage.
Well, it is 12:30, beer o'clock.
Yeah, beer o'clock, yeah. Exactly. So you know, Kieran and I, we actually do this a lot. We get together, we have some beers. I'm getting used to the fact that in England, often it's at 4 or 5 o'clock, not at 6 or 7 o'clock. And we kind of have these unfiltered discussions about what's happening in the industry. Because so often when you're on stage, you have prepared presentations, you have very kind of distilled content. And people don't always say what they think. Now, I say what I think because I'm a technologist and I don't believe in marketing. And Kieran, well, anyone who's had a beer with Kieran knows that he doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut either. So we thought we'd try this on stage. So no real preparation here, except maybe a few themes. Shall we?
Yeah. So you want to share the first theme?
Yeah, so we thought we'd talk a little bit about innovation. I think we heard a lot about this.
Innovation.
Yeah. What do you think? Are we innovating?
Are we innovating? I think the first thing you have to realize, having spent 3 years covering this industry, people ask me, Kieran, has anything really changed? And I say, no, not really. And they ask me, why? Well, I say, well, if you look at it as a house and you're looking in, nothing's really changed at all. The business models are very similar.
The company names changed.
The company names have changed, yes. But what you have essentially is display, right? You have your agency, you had your ad network layer, and you had a publisher. And we had a really good ad network layer here for years and years. You had Specific and Conan doing a lot of the ad network buys. Mm-hmm. Agencies outsourcing those buys to those ad networks. And then you had the sort of coming of the programmatic, Richard, where is it? Richard Wheaton, was it? He's doing like programmatic kettles. You had that process come into the industry, and the agency saw an opportunity to build a new business unit, right? So trading desks. And the trading desks essentially took the business off the ad networks, and they became ad networks. So anybody saying that trading desks are not ad networks are wrong, because they are ad networks. For the record.
I agree. And in many cases, if you look at the agency, actually, many of them are just now allocating budgets often to multiple trade desks. So instead of having 10 ad networks on the plan, you now have a bunch of trade desks on the plan and fewer ad networks. And the ad network people are moving to go work at the trade desks.
Absolutely.
That's why the company names are just changing a bit.
But what has changed, though, there is the change in the sort of infrastructure, the pipes, the wiring of the house. That's changed a lot. The way that media is being bought and sold. Through sort of the technology layers changed, but the actual business units haven't changed.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think one of the things that's, for me, that I find highly amusing is that we spend so much time talking about algorithms and targeting and all of this amazing things, all the amazing things we can do with RTB. But the one thing that hasn't changed is the goalpost. So we heard a bunch of people talk about this earlier today. We still optimize towards a last view, right, in most cases. So the agencies are generally not going exclusive with the trade desk. So the trade desk is just one of many parties on the display plan. And they give the data the trade desk gets is a post-view conversion. They don't generally even know which post-conversion is theirs. They just know that there were 1,000 post-view conversions. And so all of these algorithms and all of this optimization is actually optimizing to the wrong thing. Because guess what? Just a last view conversion, honestly, it's kind of bullshit, right? It doesn't, no, seriously. I mean, think about this. Do you really think the last view matters? Do you know what the algorithm drives towards doing? It's getting that cookie view. We had a team internally that started looking at viewability. And it was, I think, one of the most telling pieces of data. On a standard post-view campaign, viewability has no impact on performance. If you do an A/B test where you actually have two different groups and one is exposed and one's not exposed, you have a tremendous amount of lift. Why? Because when you actually do proper A/B testing, if you see the ad, it matters. But when you do post-view conversions, guess what? It doesn't matter because you're just trying to get that last cookie credit. So I think personally that's a big problem. What do you think?
The attribution piece?
Yeah, the attribution.
Well, it's a difficult one because how do you... The only way to make attribution work is to standardize attribution, right? How are you going to do that, right? First of all, agencies are not letting the data down to the other parties, the executing parties in the sort of plan. So how do you get them to open up that data, right? I mean, there was an interesting sort of article that Quantcast did on ExchangeWire a couple of weeks ago about a two-touch system. So you get a touch before the conversion and touch before the actual site of the conversion. And that way you sort of reward retargeting and prospecting at the same time, which is interesting. But if you were just trying to get the industry to sort of base a standardized model, I don't think that's possible.
Well, I think we do one of two things. Either agencies and marketers start actually doing intelligent attribution rather than what we're doing today. And I know upstream, kind of we look at the quarterly spend, often we do more, but in terms of trading, we need more intelligent attribution from the agency, or the agencies and marketers have to let go of that data. We have to let it flow downstream into the people who have the analytics and the tools to actually do something smart with it. Because right now, all we do is incentivize remarketing. And prospecting gets so little credit. It's just a question of, can I get that last little cookie?
Retargeting is like the crack pipe of our industry. Once you start smoking it, it's very hard to come off it. It's really, really difficult, you know? It's display just retargeting, you know?
Yeah.
But it works. I mean, look at the success of Criteo, look at the success of some of these retargeting solutions. They've done really, really well. But at the end of the day, they're getting credit for everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's wrong.
Well, I was having fun actually backstage, so I was looking at kind of some of these properties, and I realized I was going to the Daily Mail because I wanted to see what these guys were doing. And you know what you see in terms of ads? Like, who here actually looks at ads, by the way? All right, some people. Who clicks on ads? Because I click all the time.
I click on my own. I click on my own ads.
You click on your own ads.
Sorry, sponsors. I have a group of Indians as well who do a lot of the clicking for me as well.
That's fraud. That's a whole
different... That's not fraud. It's entrepreneurialism. That's what it is.
I just moved to the UK and I bought some furniture from Made.com, great site. But I did actually make sure to find a remarketing ad on an AppNexus partner site and click on it, and then I bought it. But that's a separate story. So,
are we in trouble now? I think we probably are.
If you go to the Daily Mail, what's interesting is you basically see three kinds of ads. One is remarketing. Well, I already bought my couch from Made.com, but I still continue to see Made.com ads. Like nonstop. I also see Avis ads. I see a bunch of basically it's just stupid remarketing, and I guess someone's getting credit. Two, you see the branded advertising, right? So if you go to the finance page, you actually get mortgage ads, and that makes a lot of sense. And the third is just random shit. I mean, Weight Watchers. We have just totally irrelevant advertising, and that's because everyone's investment, I think, is going towards the intelligent remarketing piece. But maybe we should stop talking about remarketing and attribution.
I love remarketing. I think it's great.
Yeah.
You know,
let's talk about hype.
Hype. Well, you know, we don't do hype at ExchangeWire. We talk the truth. You know, we never print. We never print
sponsored posts.
Press release. Sponsored posts. That's sponsored content, mate. That's native advertising. It's all in now. You know.
Do people pay to present at ATS?
No, of course not. Not anymore. Well. Shit. All right, yeah.
No. Credit. Actually, Kieran. I always give Kieran shit because at a lot of these events, at Exchange or ExchangeWire, it's all sponsored content, right? So you pay. I don't know how many of you know this. You pay money and you get to be on stage. At AppNexus, you have to be a customer. We try to filter
the best people, though. You know, you try to. You'll give me 20 grand. Yeah, I think you're okay.
But you are doing an event that's unsponsored. So
yes. This year's ATS London is unsponsored. We've decided to kind of do a sort of more of content that we can do our own and figure it out that way.
But let's talk about hype. Can I go first?
Okay, because you've got lots to say about hype.
Can people please stop saying there's no cookies in mobile? I mean, technically it's true they're not cookies, they're device IDs, but we can track people in mobile. It's not like this scary thing that doesn't work. You can track people. Your turn.
I would say that I'm fed up of the pump and dump strategy. And a lot of Europeans are too.
What's the pump and dump?
Have you ever heard of pump and dump strategy?
No, I haven't.
So basically you raise a bunch of money you build a little bit of technology and you spend the rest on marketing and sales. And then you send out really stupid press releases and hope that people like me will print them and will validate your sales pitch to agency folk who obviously don't read Exchange well. I think that's a problem. And I think it's kind of like, it spreads misinformation. Exchange could easily do 5 pieces a day, right? Because we get enough press releases, but we don't because it's shit, right? People send us crap, and this is truth. And if you want to write a piece which is going to give you enough knowledge and insight into the space, that's what we do. And I'm just fed up with it.
Fair enough. My second one, I hate DMP. Can I say it? Does anyone else here, who knows exactly what a DMP is?
It's a fancy data warehouse
Come
solution.
on, all right, we got 2 people. What is it? no, I'm kidding. Seriously, no, because I have these people come, they say, we need a DMP, right? And you say, well, what do you really need, right? What is the business problem you're trying to solve? And it turns out there's like 5 different business problems, almost, and there are multiple products, in fact, right? Some agencies want ownership of data, and what they really need is a data warehouse with some analytics tools on top, right? Other people have websites that they want to build audiences on, and they need segment building and maybe a data marketplace around that. So if people could please stop saying DMP, it would make me personally very happy. I don't know if anyone else here cares. And instead start talking about what you're trying to accomplish, right? Just like when you look for a bidding platform, what you would like to do is buy real-time inventory. If you're looking for a DMP, what do you want to do?
So you don't believe in the DMP?
I believe in the DMP. I actually think one of the biggest things holding back this industry is understanding of data, right? So, I give this viewability example. It's really difficult to do that analysis. It requires, we had a team, we had to get extra pixel servers running, we had to get log level data, we had to join that data. Now, luckily, we've raised enough money that we can afford expensive data warehouses and lots of engineers. But it was really hard just to tell you that viewability has no lift on post-view campaigns. Right, so I actually think DMP, whatever it might mean, if it means analytics and really understanding what is actually happening, I think that's really powerful. So, stupid example, who here is a marketer and has actually seen their ad on a website in the last 24 hours?
That's a silly question. No marketers come to these type of events.
No agency. Last week? Last 3. We have 3 guys here in the middle who actually look at their own ads, right? I challenge everyone here to go look at their actual ads on actual websites, and it's tremendously insightful what you find. There's a lot of shit out there.
Well, but not everybody can dig through those raw data logs. I mean, like agencies don't have the capability, or there's not that much talent in the industry to do that. Yeah. So maybe that's an opportunity for ad networks as they kind of build out their new proposition as market and trying to get away from the trading desk to kind of offer that solution. But that leads into the talent issue, I think.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Talent and technology.
Oh, talent and technology. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about talent?
Yeah, tell me. I know you have thoughts.
Okay, I have some thoughts. So I think that there is a serious problem in the industry, especially at the agency level. I see a lot of interesting stuff happening on the enterprise marketing side. I don't know I'm sure everybody in this space or in this room has seen what Salesforce did yesterday. They dropped $2.5 billion on exact targeting, right? They're building out a serious enterprise marketing solution, a platform for marketers, CMOs. So agencies need to get more and more, if they want to get closer to CMOs, they're going to have to get more and more tech and data focused. Yeah. So I think that agencies have been smart to buy companies, buy talent in, but I think you need to think about top-down strategy. So I think that an agency needs to look at when they're replacing, like people replacing Martin Sorrell or Morris Levy being replaced, I think they need to look at someone like a CEO from IBM or even a Brian O'Kelly. I think that to kind of engender this culture of tech and data in the agencies. I mean, there's still that creative piece, but as we get more and more programmatic, I hate to use that word, but as the media buying process becomes more programmatic and automated, that's going to become a more commoditized business for the agency. So they need to go up the value chain and offer more to the client, to the CMO. And it's going to be around data. It could be around your fancy DMP. It could be around analysis of data logs. And they're going to have to think about because literally everybody in this room is looking for people. I can't find good people. Where are they? They're not in this industry. We're going to have to track them from the IT disciplines. We're going to have to track them from the big data firms. And you need a different culture to do that, I think.
It's true, actually.
Rant over, sorry.
No, it's exactly right. I think actually, if you look at the companies succeeding today, one of the core differentiators in almost all of them is that there's a tech founder or a strong tech leader in the organization somewhere. All right, and then or there's a strong commitment to invest in technology. Andy earlier today was talking about Redshift, and this is expensive stuff, right? And
what is Redshift to do?
It's the Amazon product they built on top of Parexel.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's a little
course.
data warehouse in the
Data
cloud.
house.
Data warehouse in the cloud.
Okay.
But the thing is, if let's say I worked for someone who knew nothing about technology, and I said I need 300,000 pounds on a data warehouse, right? And the question is going to be, well, what's the ROI? Well, I don't know. I have no clue. Right? It depends on what we get out of the data. It might be nothing or it might be tremendously high. I think many people are not making those investments. So anybody here, if you actually have tech people, go give them the tools, right? It's not just about hiring engineers, who, by the way, are really expensive, especially in New York. Thank you, Google and Facebook. But Google pays so much. It's crazy. And
they've got free food as well. It's great. You should always try and organize a meeting with Google. It's great. Thanks, Shannon.
It's true, they do have good but they don't have beer, which is different. But so the people are expensive, but if you hire 2 or 3 engineers, that might cost you a couple $100,000 a year. On top of that, you need to also give them the infrastructure. It's like you can't hire a writer and not give them a pen or a laptop, right? Engineers need servers and data warehouses, and I think few people are making those investments. And I think it's one of the challenges in Europe. When you raise VC money, you have that padding, you have that cushion. Right? A lot of the businesses here that are just completely self-funded, which I think is incredible. I mean, so many of our clients and customers are just self-funded, and they have 20 plus people, and they're profitable, and that's fantastic. But they don't necessarily have the cash to go out and say, I want a Netezza. And the companies that do make that bet, I think are quite ballsy and are actually showing to be successful with that. So.
I mean, the models here are going to be different. I mean, Brian talked about innovation and sort of the entrepreneurial spirit here in the ad tech space, but the reality is that we will never build an AppNexus or a DoubleClick in Europe. It's just not going to happen. We've had some big hits like ad tech, and Criteo might IPO, and that'll be a big thing for Europe as well. But the reality is we don't. I think what Europe does well is it builds sustainable businesses that make money. I mean, I'm not going around the room. There's a lot of great ad networks here in this space who've been self-funded and have had to fight literally hand-to-hand battles with the trading desks to prove their value to the agents. I'm serious. Like, you're talking about taking on Xaxis, first-party data. They get to buy inventory up front through WPP's Group M. It's a fantastic model. Xaxis is a serious competitor. So you need to be really, really good to get on that plan. So I think that if there's any VCs in the room, they should be thinking about how we can take these ad networks in Europe who are really, really strong. And I say that any ad network, you take 3 ad networks in Europe and 3 ad networks from the US, and the ad networks in Europe will kick the shit out of them every day of the week.
I think that's a challenge.
That's the reason. Look, so a VC goes, okay, we're going to take you to New York where there's tons of money. They're throwing money out the door. These agencies have unbelievable budgets, 10 times, 20 times that's what we can get here in the UK, Germany or anywhere else. And give them the cash to buy the expensive salespeople, do the little bit of marketing, get an ad exchange, or get on media posts, whatever B2B publications, the flavor of the week that week, and do some interviews and basically build the business. And then the VC guy takes a bit of upside from the increased revenue, gross revenue. You go from 10 to 50 to 100 million. That's a good business.
It's true.
There's nothing wrong with making money. By the way, there's nothing wrong with making money, right? Everybody can't have the 100 million, the $1 billion exit. There's only going to be so many people to do that. And there's only so few people like Brian O'Kelly. There's only so few Brian O'Kellys in the world who will achieve that. And we in Europe have to think about, right, okay, we're really good at optimization. We're really good at trading. Let's take on the world. And not just look at US. I've just come back from Beijing. China is an insane opportunity. Like, their display market by 2016 is going to be $20 billion, right? And it's really kicking off. And I just think the Europeans need to think a little bit differently about how they build their businesses and how they make money.
But to your point, if you did the head-to-head ad network Europe versus US, don't forget in the US they don't call them ad network anymore.
What are they called? DSPs?
They're technology companies. right? Because they raised VC money, and the VC money goes for a multiple as a tech company. And so people are afraid to actually be okay with being a media business. I mean, I think that's actually what's healthy here is people are totally comfortable saying, I run campaigns, I deliver the best results, and that's what I do.
What's wrong with being an ad network?
There's nothing wrong with it.
You know, come out, be proud. We should have AdNet Pride Day, like, you know. We can't
come out of the closet like I'm a network.
I'm an AdNet, I'm a Pride. What do you think of that? That's a good idea, actually. I might just get sponsors for that. That's brilliant.
Ad Networks Anonymous.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Well, I think I hope this. I think we're starting to run out of time on our side.
No, we got 58 seconds. Let's cover another subject.
58
this is great.
seconds. All right. Someone shout out one more topic, and we got 50 seconds. Sorry? Chug the beer.
I mean, it's already finished. I've been drinking it since the whole thing. It's kind of like backwash now, I think.
Any other burning topics people want unfiltered opinions on? Privacy. Ooh, privacy. 20 seconds.
Privacy. So.
I think, can I say something?
I do have a conspiracy theory about Firefox, but I can't really say it on stage.
Can I say privacy? I'll say something that no ad company ever says. I think the ad industry fucked up, and I don't think we respect users' privacy, and I think we should. So that's my statement on privacy. And I think we deserve everything that's coming at us, and I think we have to change how we think about this. I think we have to start respecting the consumer and the user. And you know, my mom freaks out at ads all the time because she just doesn't understand. She's like, how do they know who I am? And
exactly.
Those are the shoes I was looking on Zappos. I mean, this is the kind of things we don't communicate to consumers. We don't talk to them.
Do not play the line, but they don't know anything about you. It's anonymized data, you know? This is how we fund our industry. How do you get free content? Because you served an ad to you and you click on it.
Well, we haven't made the trade-off clear, right? Publishers have not made it clear that they can give free content in exchange for advertising. And I think as an industry, we have to turn it around to do it.
But how do we turn it around, though?
How do we turn around? That's a very good question. I think on our side, we're working hard on trying to build bridges to some of these companies that are, you could call it attacking us, but I just think they're kind of right.
Cookieless targeting?
Cookieless targeting, we should call it statistical IDs. It's much more politically correct than
Statistical
fingerprint.
IDs.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a fingerprint.
You got a fingerprint me?
No. It's a statistical ID.
You see, this is the problem here in the industry. Fingerprinting, tracking. Like, we're so aggressive. When I call it, like, you know, I was going to say fondling, but that's a bad word. Okay.
All right, on that part, since Karen's fondling, just stop drinking. Thank you guys so much. We greatly enjoyed our pub chat. And grab us tonight. We'll both. Are you going to be there tonight for drinks?
Yeah, of course.
All right, perfect.
Free bar.
So if you want to have more of this, we'll have a free open bar. Thank you very much.